Look at that, you know, the more I've got to know this old boat, the more I've got to like her. Look at her lines and the shape. She creates an awful lot of attention wherever she goes. The amount of people that have come up to us and asked us questions about the boat since we've been here. There's something about an old wooden boat. I'm not sure I'd like to sail one regularly, but they are lovely to look at, much better than modern boats. Well, what a great start to the second leg of our trip. We've only left La Coruna about an hour ago, and already we've had a pod of some half a dozen, maybe 10 dolphins swimming around the bow. It's a beautiful sight. Fills my heart with joy. Absolutely love it. Never get tired of seeing that. Just need a bit of wind now and we can get going. Doing some motor sailing for the first time on the trip. Right, well, it's been another lovely sunny day here as we head south down the Portuguese coast. Just show you on the map, this is where we set off from at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. This is where we've come, all the way down here. We are now off the Portuguese coast, just off of Porto, which is there. Okay, and then we've got to go further south, past Lisbon, and then down into our final destination of there. So we are about a quarter of the way, I'd say, so we've got another couple of days to go. Maybe another 3 days and we should be there. Been quite choppy out there on the sea today. Because the winds have been coming from directly behind us, the northerly winds, this boat doesn't sail very well with the wind up her backside, so we are back on the engine. We did some sailing earlier on today, but it's quite nice till the wind's changed. The sun has just risen on day 3 of our passage down the Portuguese coast. I say the sun has risen, I don't know where it is, you can't see it in the sky, because as you can see out there, it's all a bit misty, it's all a bit overcast. The sea is very choppy and we're rolling around all over the place. So where we were on the maps last night, we're just a few miles south of that. But I'll tell you what I can do is show you on this map here, on the paper chart. This is the line we're coming down, these are the rocks that we need to avoid, and we're up here somewhere at the moment. So just to give you a perspective, that's what's been there. So we are around here opposite that place there. However you pronounce that. Right, I need to sit down before I fall down, because it's very choppy today. Well, good morning everybody. As you can see, I'm on land. Haven't arrived at our final destination yet. We were heading down the Atlantic coast of Portugal, and the weather conditions were deteriorating. It was forecast for a gale force 8 to blow through where we were last night, so we've diverted into Cascais Marina. Got in at about 11 o'clock last night. Didn't film any of it because it was pitch black, but it is a lovely place. The marina, probably not so lovely. It's big. Just been up for a walk. Got some supplies, but the town is just absolutely stunning. What a beautiful place. The marina isn't the best. We've all had showers and everything this morning. The facilities are well beyond an upgrade, shall we say. And according to the reviews, this marina is the most expensive along the Atlantic coast of Portugal, and you can see why for the location, but for the facilities it's a bit of a rip-off. So the plan is now we're just going to reprovision, sort ourselves out a little bit, and the gale has passed, so we're going to head on to get to our final destination in the next 24 hours or so. But we shall see. The winds are still quite changeable, so we've got a couple of other ports of refuge that we have earmarked en route. So whether we go direct from here to our final destination or whether we do tuck into another marina along the way remains to be seen. Watch this space. That's one way of getting noticed. And we're on our way. Who knows where our next port of call will be? It all depends on the weather.
Hello, camera.
Have I been a useful crew member then?
Absolutely, mate.
Absolutely.
Can't beat having a bus engineer on board.
I thought I'd finished fixing diesel engines when I finished doing the buses. How many times have we had the hatch open? Sort that bloody lock fuel filter out?
It's been 4 or 5 times, hasn't it?
It's all been good fun though. And we're sailing. More motor sailing. Looks like we're being chased by the Portuguese Navy. Well, you don't see that every day, do you? A Portuguese naval frigate, I assume it's Portuguese, with a helicopter landing on its deck. What a great sight that was. Right, so we finally turned the corner at Cape St Vincent. We are now heading east, heading towards the Mediterranean, because we're not going to get that far. We're not going through the Straits of Gibraltar because we're turning off up that river that forms the border between Spain and Portugal. It's well and truly the final leg now, which is good. I've enjoyed every minute of this trip, but I am looking forward to getting home. I want to go and see my own boat. It's a lovely sunny morning, clear skies, fairly calm seas. What a nice way to start the final leg. Right, okay, we're in a place called Vilamoura. It's a bit of a touristy place. There's lots of very drunk British people here, including myself. We arrived a couple of hours ago, and the reason why we couldn't go all the way to our final destination was because there is a sandbar over the final destination, and we have to do that plus or minus 2 hours either side of high water. Now, the problem is we could have gone straight there tonight, but the problem was with that is there's a lot of kind of fishermen and in little boats, and we didn't want to do that passage at night, so we decided to come in here and wait it out the night, and then we'll do that journey tomorrow during daylight, where it's obviously much easier to be seen and to see other people, and then we'll catch the high tide 6 hours later. So that's the plan. We've come here, we've been out, we've had an Indian, which is very nice. We've had more than enough beer that I care to mention, and a couple of other shots as well. So we are here for the night, and then tomorrow morning, with hangovers galore, we are setting off for our final destination, which is only 7.5 hours up towards the Mediterranean. I can't remember how many miles it was, but it's not very far. So however long a sailboat gets in 7.5 hours, that's how far we've got to go. And we've got to time our departure for around 12 midday so that we can catch the high tide going over the bar into our final destination, and then it is the flight home and the job is done. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this little trip on someone else's boat. I've learnt a lot, I've had a good laugh, I've met two really good guys who are really passionate about sailing. The owner, who has crossed the Atlantic numerous times, and I've learnt so much from him. It's been really good, so it's been well worth it. But I am looking forward to getting back and getting on my own boat and doing some of my sailing with my boat, because it's great fun going on other people's boats, but you can't beat sailing on your own boat. And by the way, while I'm here, I'm not sure if you can see, I might show you this during the day tomorrow when it's light, but there's one of these rowing boats things here behind me. Can you see that? So that's one of those rowing boats that they cross the Atlantic on. Would I like to do that? Would I bollocks? But they've got a little solar panel on the front here, lots of places to row, nowhere to have a shower, nowhere to have a shit, in private anyway, and fucking hell, would you want to do that? But hats off to anybody that does that, rowing across the Atlantic. If you do that, if that's your thing, then, and you're raising money for charity, then fabulous. I support you 100%, but that's bloody ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. I'll show you that during the day, you might be able to see it better. Anyway, right, that's enough waffle from me. It's time to go to bed. It's time to sober up and get ourselves ready for the next morning, because it's the final leg. We've come so far from Cork all the way across the Bay of Biscay, across to La Coruna, and then down the Portuguese Atlantic coast. We've had horrible weather, We've had wind on the nose. We haven't been able to do nowhere near as much sailing as what we'd want to do, ideally. But we're just 7 hours away from our final destination. So let's get this boat over the line. Here it is here. Can you see it behind me? Oh shit, nearly fell in. Here we go, over there, lovely jubbly. It's nearly done. Right, okay, so it's the next day now. Apologies about my my drunken ramblings last night. Dearie me. Anyway, 3 very hungover sailors on the boat this morning. We've just been for a full English breakfast, a nice fry up in one of the cafes in the town, and starting to feel a little bit better now. Now I don't know what I went on about last night, but I do remember saying that I would show you this rowing boat, this Atlantic Challenge rowing boat thing, and here it is here. Just have a look at this bad boy. Now I'm looking forward to sailing across the Atlantic. I couldn't think of anything worse, trying to row across it, especially in something like that. Right, okay, so the plan for today is we've got a few jobs to sort out on the boat this morning. Then we're going to be slipping the lines about 11, go and pay the bill and everything in the marina office, and then we'll be heading off, hopefully around 12 o'clock. Catch the tide to get over that sandbar to get us to our final destination. It's about a 7.5 hour sail, so our last sailing day, and then the boat will be at her new destination, her new home. The owner's got a 10-year lease on the berth, so she's going to be here for a while. Here she is, just behind me there. Okay, so we're on our way. We're on the final leg now to our final destination. Whee! And Faro is just over there on our beam, on our port side, and this is the area where we are effectively running the orca gauntlet. This is where a lot of the interactions where orcas have been happening over the last couple of years. And we had a pan on the radio earlier on. They've already interacted with a yacht already once today. Hopefully we won't be their next target. But I think if they did decide to interact with us, then they might get a bit of a shock, because this is a big old wooden boat with a huge great metal rudder. If they try to take a bite out of that, they'll probably end up losing a few teeth. But anyway, hazy day, not much sun around, still very warm, but still very pleasant to be out on the water. So we're nearly there, 13 days at sea, with a few little stops.
A few little beer stops.
A few little beer stops.
And a big one tonight.
Absolutely. Well, even bigger than the one last night. How do you feel now you're nearly there?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's what we've got there.
Yeah.
After our adventures.
Yep.
After being down the engine room a couple of times.
No orcas today as well, which is always a bonus.
Not yet, anyway. Touch wood.
Yeah.
They could appear at any moment.
Well, yeah.
This is where they've been attacking the boats.
Yeah. Only a couple of miles to go.
the engine, yeah? Cut the engine.
Turn it, you can turn it off now.
Right, cut the engine. and I need one more friend here maybe.
Okay. Yeah. At least you're facing the right way now.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to see us in one piece. I'm Cecilia. Marcus,
I'm Dave.
Very nice to meet you, I'm
Marcus.
Dave. Nice to meet you.
I know you are. Right. You can do the ropes tighter as and when. You probably want to bring yourself in a bit, but
Yeah, we get springs and that on it.
Yeah.
How far are we off that boat in front? We look very close.
yeah,
We're about 1 foot off it,
yeah.
so we need to come back here or get a spring.
We need to get, yeah.
Ready? Cheers.
Well done, everybody. We arrived. We made it in one piece. Right, okay, it's the next morning now, and I'm just on my way back from having a shower. 1 or 2 heavy heads again on the boat this morning, but the good news is we've made it here. It took us 13 days with a couple of stops on the way, but we brought the old girl all the way from the UK to Portugal, and this is where the boat's going to stay now. The owner, Jake, he's got a 5-year lease on a mooring here at this marina, so he's applying for Portuguese citizenship with his other half, and they're going to be living out here on the boat for the next 5 years. As for me, I'm heading back to the UK. Got the flight booked for tomorrow. Looking forward to going home and seeing friends and family. Looking forward to having a little cuddle with Jess, and of course looking forward to getting back on my own boat as well. I have thoroughly enjoyed the last couple of weeks. Admittedly, when I first saw the boat in Cork, when I arrived that day and I saw it for the first time, I was a little bit sceptical, a little bit worried. But that boat, big old wooden, heavy boat, did really well. We had some rough conditions. We had a lot of conditions where there was not enough wind to sail because it's so big and heavy. The boat needs at least 10 knots to get going. So if you haven't got 10 knots of wind, then the only option is to motor. But anyway, that just about does it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. A little bit different. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you haven't done so already, please hit that thumb and give me a like. And if you haven't done, and if you're not already, please subscribe. You can do both of those for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And of course, likes and subscribes, as well as all the comments, any questions, put them in the box below. All that helps the channel grow. So if you could like and subscribe, and if you've got any comments or questions, then please put them in the box below. It really does help us grow. But thank you very much. Until next time, that does it for Dave. We'll be back on my boat in the next episode. Till then, bye bye.